Journey of Your Soul. A Channel Explores the Michael Teachings. Second edition. Forward by John Kilmo and John Friedrich-Lander. Shepherd Hoodwin. Preface. Channeling is a modern word for a meaning of accessing intelligence not in human form. Something people have been doing in virtually every culture since perhaps the beginning of human civilization. In the past, such access was the domain of priestesses and priests, shamans, oracles, seers, and so on, who contacted gods, ancestors, or spirits. Many scriptures were brought forth in part through channeling. Today, channels are more from many walks of life and communicate with a wide range of beings. Michael is the name of a group or entity of 1,050 souls. For this reason, they refer to themselves as we. The name Michael was chosen somewhat arbitrarily. The last soul in the entity to finish its cycle of physical plane lifetimes had the name Michael in its last lifetime. Accordingly to channeling in 1973 in the original Michael group, that was about 1,500 years ago. Michael's teachings provide a unique and fascinating vocabulary identifying the building blocks we use to create our lives. They offer a context for understanding what is occurring and why, helping us be more relaxed and accepting, as well as providing tools for making positive changes. With any teaching, it is easy for beginning students to oversimplify or jump to conclusions. If a teaching is substantial, it is worth in-depth study, with attention paid to nuances and distinctions. This book is dedicated to a serious exploration of the Michael's teachings, as well as channeling itself. These two subjects are complementary in seeking answers to questions about the teachings. We come to understand more about how channeling works and vice versa. In seeking to understand questions about the teachings, we come to understand more about how channeling works and vice versa. The Michael entity I channel is not the same as the Archangel Michael. There are several people, however, who channel the Michael entity. For the most part, they each draw on different members of the entity. The first book on the Michael teachings was Messages from Michael by Chelsea Quinn Yarbrough, originally published in 1979. The channeling in Messages and her subsequent Michael books laid the foundation for later Michael channels and groups. For this reason, I frequently refer to the Yarbrough books. I am not a member of her channeling group, although I became friends with the first Michael channel, Sarah Chambers, Jessica Lansing, in the Yarbrough books, now deceased, and have spoken with others who have been involved with it. Sarah and I had an extensive correspondence about the original group, which I will excerpt in a future book. Yarbrough's fictionalized account implies one continuous group, but there have been several. Yarbrough was not actually a member of the original microgroup. For the sake of convenience, however, I refer to the groups whose work is included in the Yarbrough books as a Yarbrough group, since that is how they are commonly known. I also have communicated with other Michael channels and refer to some of them throughout this book. In particular, J.P. Van Huel and Aaron Christian channeled some fundamental concepts covered here, and I owe them a great debt. My intention for this book is to be accessible to those without knowledge of the Michael teachings. I have defined terms throughout. In addition, there is an extensive glossary to aid beginning as well as more advanced students. Be sure to read What's Your Role? Just before Chapter 1 if you are new to the teachings. Read the whole book in the order presented will give you the best experience. Reading the whole book in the order presented will give you the best experience. For example, information about the roles is woven into several chapters preceding the one dedicated to that subject and is not repeated there, so you will miss things if you skip to it. Journey of Your Soul complements what is provided by several other books. A list of them is on my site, www.summerjoy.com, and under Books. I have avoided repeating material available elsewhere unless it was needed for clarity or continuity. You might find it enriching to do other reading. There is a wealth of material online, including lively discussion groups. A page on my site, Other Michael Teachings Resources, has a number of links. In addition, you can sign up for my Perspectives newsletter and find my contact information there. I have allowed what I have to say to dictate the length of my treatment of specific subjects. For example, I have more to say about scholars than servers because I see far more scholars in my practice and know more of them personally. Worldwide, service is the most common role, but as with every Michael Teachings trait, servers are not evenly distributed. Each Michael channel has areas of emphasis based on what he has an affinity for, can channel well, has found to be useful, and what his clients ask about. For instance, I am interested in Michael math, whereas some channels aren't. On the other hand, some channels get a lot of information about configurations such as sextants, quadrants, and support circles. These subjects have rarely come up in my channeling, so I cover them here only in the glossary, and I discuss other topics such as monads relatively briefly. In my channeling practice, I frequently give what I call Michael readings, in which I channel and sometimes explain charts of Michael information for a client. I refer to these throughout this book. A sample chart follows Chapter 7. There are some discussions here that will appeal to those who are passionate about the fine points of the Michael teachings, but may seem like hair-splitting to others. For example, you might not be interested in the discussion of where body types are placed on the Michael chart, or how chakras correlate with roles. I have separated much of this kind of material into subchapters, and you may wish to skim over some of it. You can find some complex material, such as an article about how multiple casting numbers work together, on my site. Every channel and channeling practice is unique, so Michael channels and students may have had different experiences from mine. Also, they or their channeling may not agree with what I present here. No doubt, my experience and perceptions will continue to change over time, and perhaps some of what I present here will prove inaccurate. I discuss inaccuracies and discrepancies, real and apparent, at length throughout the book. For now, let it suffice to say that although no channel is 100% accurate, often what seems wrong is just incomplete. There is sometimes what I call bridge information. That explains how apparently opposing ideas can be true, or at least partly true.